And what is going on, everybody? And what's going on, Philly Nation? So, welcome to another episode 14 of the Phillies Talk Podcast. Good God, for episode
Oh
14
my
episodes of
god,
the show. Um,
dude, we've been grinding hard, man. Keep
Absolutely.
going,
But
man.
before we get into today's episode, if you guys are new to everybody that's watching, if you guys are new, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys are new, and welcome to everybody. Welcome everybody. Appreciate everybody coming through. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. So, wow. Yeah, wow. Where do I even want to begin with this team?
Dude,
I mean,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. First, I want to say to the fans after last night's loss, calm down, pump the brakes.
yeah,
We're not gonna plummet. And then fans are, oh, just wait, we'll plummet out of the race. Stop,
we still got a game and a half over the Brewers, though, who obviously did lose to the Reds.
stop.
And Todd, let me ask you
Like,
this.
come on.
Let me ask you this. We did talk
Yeah,
about this before us, couple days ago. Yes, I mean taking 3 out of 4 out of a good team is a bit of is a hard thing to do. Yes, I know we got lucky against the Dodgers earlier in the year because we took 3 out of 4 to them. But looking at it from so far this 4 game series, I'm thinking to myself, you know what?
we took
I
two
could
out
not
of four from the Braves.
I could not like if we split with the Braves,
See,
I'm okay with that.
This is exactly what we wanted. Don't lose a series. Either split or
At
take
least
three
try
out of
at
four.
least
And they
exactly.
did that.
And that's what you got the 10 road games coming up. You got a series against the Cubs. You got at least worst case,
We
best
gotta
case scenario,
rectify the
sweep.
sweep. We gotta rectify the sweep
Absolutely.
from early in the season.
But before we get going any
Um,
further, what's good, Eric? What is good, Liam? What up?
what's
What up,
good?
normal guy?
What's
What's
good?
good, Keith? Yeah. So I think overall though, I think overall though, I think it's still a good season. A lot of
Oh,
people will
it's a
think
tremendous season. Tremendous season.
absolutely, Key. We have best case scenario, like I said, we have to sweep the Cubs because the Cubs ain't that great. And I'm not trying to poke fun at the Cubs, even though they're the lovable losers and the words of
Heck,
Gooley.
even Gooley, our guy Gooley says it. They're not good.
Because
He's bluntly real. They're not good.
we've seen the eye test. What the Cubs, man, without Bryant, Rizzo, and all the guys that were the foundation to
They
their
don't have the
success.
they don't have the core anymore. The core's gone.
It's a whole new regime now.
Whole new regime, whole new coaching, whole new team. Young players trying to make a name for themselves who struggle early because they're rookies. So
Which that happens.
it
Absolutely, it does
happens. It
happen.
happens in sports. Some teams have to go through rebuilds.
But there are some rookies that will exceed expectations better than others.
Yeah.
But that's the only exception, though. But in the Phillies case, though, you got a series against the Cubs, which
Yep.
I think, at times too, I will put we'll give Rob Thomas a lot of times some harsh criticisms because he just when a guy, and this is where I would say we'll draw some nip. I was well,
To me, I don't think Rob Thompson's a bad manager. It's just sometimes he overmanages.
That's what I was going to get to. That's one of the biggest
He just
nitpicks with him.
overmanages the game. He overthinks it. Don't overthink it. You'll be good.
And we've seen times where he doesn't overthink it. We win by
You win.
It's been smooth baseball.
Here's the thing. I still think we make the playoffs, and I still think he's the new manager of the Phillies. But he's and
He's
I
got to
will
learn.
I'll give him some slack because he's a first year manager.
Especially the fact especially the fact that we gave him the job almost not even a quarter way into the season, give or take.
Halfway through, it was in like early June that he took the job from Girardi because Girardi sucked. So he took the job from Girardi, made us go 38 and whatever.
I think whatever it was that which,
38 and 15, I think it was,
or whatever it was. Even though we're especially in a 60-game stretch, that was like the third best record in the Major League Baseball in the first 60 games.
I'm telling you right now, if Girardi was fired sooner, maybe in April, we would be taking the division at this point. That's how good he is.
Yeah, and not to mention too, and
I know fans are like, oh, fire! Don't give Thompson the job. He overmanages.
What manager doesn't? We've seen it. I can name a few managers off the top of my head. Perfect.
This is what angers me about the fans. They expect him to plummet, and they don't give the manager a chance when he messes up.
Shit.
Once.
I've talked to, which is funny. I talked to some Dodgers fans. Dave Roberts is notorious for overmanaging a lot of things. We see the dumb decisions that he makes.
But look where he's at. The team broke 100 wins.
Honestly, which is crazy too. They're
like 100. They're like 100.
They were 106.
106 and 40 something.
Because I think the record. I think what the record stands is 116. That was set by a lot of people set by the 2001 Mariners.
The 2001 Mariners, yeah. It was 116 and I think it was 116 and 40. What was that? 116 and 40.
I think it was 116 is the major league record.
No, 116 and what was their loss?
I completely forgot their loss.
Something. But, and here's the thing. Philly fans are quick to say, fire a guy when he messes up one time.
Oh, yeah, Tyler. So the Seattle Mariners, the 2001 Seattle Mariners went 116 and 46. Good God.
They are close to that mark. The Dodgers are close to that mark. And like you said, Dave Roberts has the tendency to overmanage games.
Yeah, I mean, what man?
Do you hear them saying fire Dave Roberts? No.
I know some. I know some personally.
Some
don't like them.
Some are. Fire Dave Roberts. And those fans, they suck. I'd say they suck. And I was notorious for doing that too with the Eagles. Oh, fire a guy after one game.
Oh, trust me, we were both notorious. But looking at it from at this point, yes,
looking at it from a winning perspective, right? We know that we messed up when we say fire. Look at us with Doug Peterson. Fire Doug Peterson. Look at us. Fire Doug Peterson. He's winning. Fire Gabe Kapler. He manager of the year last year. I know he's a bum this year.
Actually, it's turned out to be a fluke.
Which was a fluke, but whatever.
But you kind of get the idea.
Him too soon. Girardi. We said
we hang on for longer than we should have. But I think with Rob Thompson, though, what I did talk about this too. He knows how to connect with young players, which something Girardi has never been.
That's the thing I like about this guy.
Even admitted to
he connects with the players. He tells them when they messed up, and then they get better. They bounce back.
And not to mention
this too. Look what happened when we went on that 4-game losing streak. Late this month, everybody expected a collapse. They win 2 straight against. They win 2. It was 2 straight against Atlanta.
And Atlanta is a good team.
And 3 straight overall.
Exactly.
Prior to that, they were on a 4-game losing streak. But if it was Girardi out there, we'd be plummeting further.
Oh, trust me, it would be bad enough. We'd
be well out of the race at this point.
Yeah, we'd be down in the. But it also
hold on. Let me finish. But Rob Thompson, he tells his team, "You're messing up. Find a way to get better," and they've gotten better.
And that's the thing too about Rob Thompson. I didn't even get a chance to talk about too. He's another guy. A lot of people's like you want to show on Philly coaches. Some of them actually admit their mistakes. We saw Jonathan Gann admit his mistake. We saw Nick Sirianni do it. Now we've seen in some instances where Rob Thompson has admit his faults.
Yes, we've seen it in press conferences where Rob Thompson owns up to a mistake that he's made.
And absolutely,
that's what a manager and a coach needs to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Realize when he made some mistake, realizes that he needs to find a way to help coach his team to be better than the last game.
And we've seen guys, crazy as it sounds, we've seen some random guys automatically step up. No, a guy like Brandon Marsh. How about that? And this is another thing too that I feel like too when. And honestly,
I got to give it to Dombrowski for that one. He knew what he was doing when he picked up Marsh.
We got a special guest behind the scenes. Mr. Coach Santienza.
Oh,
what's up?
We talking about some Phillies baseball?
Yep, and I
Unfortunately.
knew it wouldn't be an episode without you, Coach.
Nah, man. Yeah, man. It
It
wouldn't
wouldn't be an
an
episode.
Go
We're
ahead.
talking about how we're talking about what contributed to the Phillies' success this year, and how Rob Thompson changed changed everything around, and also how Philly fans jumped the gun and say fire the manager after one micromanaging issue from last game, which they need to pump the brakes a bit here.
I mean, again,
So
man, like I said, like I said, for the Phillies, I think firing Joe Girardi is the right move.
it
You see why
was.
the Yankees fired him. I mean, if the guys ain't out there motivated and ready to play baseball, and that any sport, why would you have a manager out there that doesn't?
And Dante, this is another thing
guys
too.
buy
Even
into?
Nick Castellanos came out and said there was no communication.
Yeah, if it's
In
no
what world?
communication,
Or
He
what
said
sport?
it after every loss that they had. He gave him the cold shoulder. Didn't even talk to him. You don't do that as a coach.
Not just in baseball. Not in football. I mean, like any sport. If you, this is what I feel like. This also, I feel like Dombrowski knew this was an issue, and I do feel like, yes, I know we give Dombrowski some shit, but I do feel like
the only flaw that I give Dombrowski is why would you get Syndergaard? You knew this guy was on the downturn of his career,
and he's only
30. Why would you get Syndergaard?
I mean, you really think about it, there was really not that much good pitchers on the trade deadline market.
True.
Because I
would have went with Syndergaard too, because there wasn't many pitchers on the market.
And I even said this too in one of the episodes. Like Syndergaard was like a last resort guy to pick up because you have some guys. Let's be real. Some pitchers have expensive contracts because pitchers nowadays are getting paid, getting the bags.
Really, the trade deadline market wasn't really deep outside of.
It really wasn't.
No, the trade deadline.
I think that's like what Luis Castillo.
You had
there's
Lopez who went.
Yeah, Lopez. Obviously, obviously the Marlins didn't want to get rid of him because I think he's part of their future. And also, by the way, we did get some news though. I know that's not Philly related, but Don Mattingly is not returning with the Miami Marlins next year.
Good.
Hey, he could be an option for the Phillies though. If he does, since he's not coming
no,
back.
no, Dante, no, absolutely not. No. Because they got Mattingly. Hold on. They got Mattingly in hopes to change the Marlins organization around because he had pieces that they were working with, and you know what happened? He didn't do nothing with them. So he probably would do nothing with us.
Pieces that ain't really that good. You can't do nothing with pieces that really ain't.
You can coach them to be better.
Imagine what you can do with a Bryce Harper and a contended team. The Marlins don't got.
You can coach them to be better. You can coach the team to be better.
You don't have the
talent.
You don't have the talent. Sometimes it boils down to the talent. You can have the coach. Sometimes it boils down to the talent.
That is absolutely true.
That's good.
Because you really think about it, because and you can go back to the times where he's actually was pretty good with the damn Dodgers. Remember, yes, I know they've gotten farther players, probably not. I mean, he had the talent to do so, but
my thing is, you got Don Mattingly in hopes to help improve that team. He did not improve that team. He did not coach.
I feel it's more on the front office on anything else.
And
it's not the front office. Hold on.
The teams like the Mets, Phillies, and all that, you just don't have.
Here's the thing. Yes, he could win. Here's the thing. Yes, he can win with a team that's already improved and better. But when you're not, when you're a coach, and your team is not good, right?
Yes.
Don't you want to improve year by year by year?
Yeah, you do. That's your aspect.
He has not done that. He's not done that.
You don't have the players. If you don't have good enough players, then you can't. Well, you can't. They're gonna bring it back to the manager. They're gonna bring it back to the manager. Look at what you call. Look at what was that manager that they fired from Anaheim? That they fired.
Joe Madden.
Joe Madden. He got two great players. And the rest of the roster is not good. And the rest of the roster, the pitching is not good.
But as a coach, you appoint hitting coaches, you appoint pitching coaches, and you do nothing because of that?
Players win games. Players go out there and execute it, not coaching. Coaches is part of the motivation factor.
The players. But here's the thing:
not coaches. Coaches don't actually win the games.
Hold on. The coaches are supposed to motivate players to be better.
Yes, but the
do I see any motivation from the Marlins? No. That means he's not doing a well enough job to motivate the players.
The team is good enough. I just don't think the team is good enough to compete.
Of course they're not good enough. Of course. But the thing is, they're not motivated.
I don't think it's Madeline.
But hold on. But here's the thing. The job as a coach is to motivate players to be better. And if they don't want to be better, that's on you and that's on the players.
But we haven't heard anything about the organization saying Madeline coming out and the players not motivated. We haven't heard.
Well, we did hear that.
But it's clear. It's clear as day from their play. They're not motivated.
I mean, Jazz Chisholm.
And a lot of people don't like Jazz Chisholm.
That's the only one that I've heard out of the Marlins organization was Jazz Chisholm.
It had nothing to do with Madeline. It had something to do with the players not being okay with Jazz Chisholm.
And think of this too. You have the Marlins. Yes, they may not be great, but look at the future that they have. Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, Sixto Sanchez, if he's healthy. I mean, Garrett Cooper. I feel like he's underrated as hell.
You named players that are slated to be good, and you know what they are? They're not good, except for Sandy.
Sandy.
You just said the players wasn't good. You just said the players wasn't good. Yes, that's what I'm. Now, see, that's the point I was trying to get. The players,
but they're slated to be better than what they are, and they got Don Mattingly to do that, to make them better. They've not done that.
You're right on that certain point, but again, the players are just not good enough. It ain't. I don't think it's the coaching part of things. I think the players are.
It's both. Honestly, it's both. Now. If we're going to be real here,
I really don't really think it's both. I just think the players.
It's both. It's both, man.
Yet. They're not good enough yet.
It's both, man. That's all I've got to say. It's both.
I mean, like I say, I disagree with that, but it's your opinion.
Hey, let's agree to disagree, brother.
But I will say this too. But kind of go back to the Phillies, though. I mean, there's some guys. Yeah, I know and let's be real.
Don Mattingly can come coach the Astros right now, and we'll still be good.
I think Mattingly,
right? Yeah, because you guys got a pre-built team that's ready. That's ready. And I know if Don Mattingly came here and be a pre-built team that's ready.
Who's to say though? Don Mattingly wants to retire. Who's to say if he wants to retire just to stay out of the game of baseball? That could be one of the reasons they might not. Because I feel like we got to think too. Like coaches over time, they sometimes just don't like being.
They don't have it anymore. Look at Girardi. He doesn't have it anymore.
I mean, and then we saw, like we said,
that's consistently on Joe Girardi. He has the players. It's him. It was Joe Girardi.
That was Joe. Yeah, we know that was Joe. It was clearly Joe.
He has the players. It was just him.
Now if we do get Don Mattingly and we somehow don't win, then yeah, it's the coaching. I will say that.
Yeah, you can see that's what I'm saying. You got if you do get.
I mean, yeah, I can see your point now, but
the thing is, look at like realistically at face value, it really doesn't look.
He looks bad with the Marlins. He looks bad.
But
with the Marlins.
Realistically, he tried everything he could with the talent that he had around. Because remember, like guys were getting hurt left and right. Some guys remember. Now, Jesus Aguilar, who's now with the Baltimore Orioles.
You tried everything you could, but the Marlins traded away every superstar they had and never got any
and look
back for them. That hurt.
And you know what? You know what? To think about it, I feel like this is how the meeting went with the general manager. He just threw his hands up and walked out. Like, whatever. You suck as a GM. I'm out of here. Like, that's probably what happened.
I'm not saying the Phillies should be hiring him. I consider the Phillies to hire him, but I'm not saying he should be the first one to hire him. It might
I know you're just considering him. He should be in talks, but I feel like the job should be Rob Thompson's.
And I said that earlier in the week. I think me and you agreed upon it. Rob Thompson should get consideration for being a
it should be.
Absolutely. I mean, trying to think. Yeah. There's really not the good coaching candidates out there, anyways. That's the bad.
I would say Joe Madden, but I'm like,
but his coaching side is for some reason with all the changes that's coming next year, it's not going to fit.
It's not going to fit. But Rob Thompson, he seems like the clear guy.
It's just like
in my opinion.
we see guys like actually step up and actually.
I think it should be.
I mean, got like a Bryce, like think about this too, like Bryson Stott. Remember, me and Tyler got on his ass because of how bad he played. Well, once Ron Thompson take over,
the guy was literally 1 for 10 in April, and we got on him.
Oh, absolutely. And you would think, and the numbers are a lot better. Yes, I know he's hitting in the low 230s, but that's for me. I would say still that's a decent season for a rookie.
The reason why he's hitting the low 230s is because of that 1 for 10 mark in April. He had a slow start in April. It's starting to climb.
Yep.
Because he's hitting
absolutely.
More.
And
what I love about his game too is that he's not only putting the ball in play, he's going the other way with it every time. He's beating the shift.
Yep.
Which a lot of people and many fans, myself included, are happy that next year that's going to be gone. Because let's be real, I hate the damn thing. I hate the shift. What the damn? I'm sorry, but
every time there's a ball like up the middle and the guy's there, I'm like, that would have been up the middle.
That was a base hit.
That would have been a up the middle base hit in 2004.
It wasn't the shift on a regular ball up the middle. That's a base hit. But just because
that's exactly what we're saying
right there, that kind of hurt. Yeah,
dude. And every time Ryan Howard would hit into the shift, it hurt.
It hurts like a bitch.
Because if it was like 2008, it would that would have been a base hit if he hit.
Oh yeah.
His batting numbers would have been even better if the shift was banned sooner. Because he was trying. Here's the thing: he was trying to change his game to where he just put the ball in play instead of hitting for power.
Because even Howard's just a plain pole hitter from what we remembered.
The Milwaukee Brewers are literally on y'all behind right now. They are right there. They cannot win a big game either, though. They can't win a big game when they need it.
And the fact that you lose,
that's because we lost it. That's because we lost a game, and now we're like trying to we're hovering over that 2 games up in the wild card spot. Like we're literally hovering, but we're trying to win. That's the thing. It's not like we're plummeting. We're not.
We're not trying to tank.
We just lose a game here and there. God. We're just losing a game here and there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like.
But honestly, I'm happy we had a better September than last season, because that last season we were already out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's who would have thought?
Both of y'all got big series. I'm telling y'all.
But the Brewers do have to play the Cardinals.
They have to play the Cardinals. They have to play the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are 89-65 because the Brewers are home. And as I'm looking at the schedule, okay, so they split with St. Louis. They lost. I'm looking at some of the series they played against the Cardinals. They lost 2 of 3 in the month of August against St. Louis. They split in September against the Cardinals on the 13th of the 4th. Whoa, wait.
Yeah, I feel like even if we lose, our number is going to diminish anyway if we lose a game here and there because they're playing the Cardinals.
But the Cardinals are a lot of people are sleeping on the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are a good team. They got Miles Michaelis.
They're also sleeping on Pujols. Pujols is resurged.
Also, how about a shout out to Pujols for joining the 700 club?
700, man. 700 club.
But the fact that he's him and Hank Aaron are the only 2 players in MLB history to have 700 home runs and 3,000 career base hits. That's like you thought 700
was impressive, man. It's an impressive mark to hit.
And that's another point. We forgot about the tiebreaker. We own the tiebreaker against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, we own the tiebreaker.
I completely forgot about that.
So it doesn't matter at this point.
Oh God,
they literally got to have a better record than you guys, though. They literally got to have a better record than you guys.
I mean, they're 82-71, but God damn,
we can literally go 500 the rest of the way, Rob, and we'll make the playoffs.
We're 83-69, so we're 1 win up. We're a win higher and 2 losses lower than the Brewers. We're 83-69. God, thank God Mitch isn't here, but that's besides the point.
Dude,
but
I was going to say that. He was going to say, don't lose anymore. I like that number. And just win the rest of the way. But yeah, I really think if we just go 500 the rest of the way, we're making the playoffs anyway.
And that's another thing too. Not just us. Like there's going to be 2 droughts that's going to be broken. Seattle is going to be one team that's going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think this too.
If we win, here's the thing: do we play a game tonight?
I think.
Let me check. No, y'all don't play tonight. Y'all play tomorrow.
We got Chicago for 3 games, but I will be doing the doubleheader against Washington,
If we either take 2 or 3 from the Cubs or sweep them, we're making the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. If we take 2 or 3 out of them,
yeah, we can play tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's Tuesday.
If we sweep the Cubs, or if we go 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, we're making the playoffs.
But after St. Louis, they got Miami. They got 4 games against Miami, 3 against Arizona to wrap up the year.
That's the thing.
Which doesn't help us.
Let's say we.
But I do think my.
Hold on.
Well,
hold up. If we sweep the Cubs, it gives us a better position against the Miami Marlins. And if we take 2 out of 3 against the Miami Marlins, we're in.
And I'm looking at the schedule too with Arizona in September. In the 4 games against for the Brewers, they lost 3 out of 4 against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, we played the Diamondbacks this week. We played the Diamondbacks too this week.
Playing the Diamondbacks gonna be fucking being on flashbacks.
Here's the thing though. In September, for some reason, the Diamondbacks always heat up. I don't know where it comes from. They play like the best team in baseball.
Well, we did sweep them at home against the Brewers.
But that was early in the season. We got swept by them like early September to start the 4-game losing streak.
Y'all got swept again by them?
Like I said, when we played the Diamondbacks, gives me fucking
Vietnam flashbacks.
In
September. It's always in September too, Dante. Always. They play during the best team in baseball. I'm like,
and tomorrow we get Wheeler back finally in the rotation. So that's another guy that's been a huge key that we've been missing.
That's a dub. That's a dub. That is a dub. I don't care. He's going to shut the team down.
So you got. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to do the game 3. So game 3.
Don't do game 3. Don't do any game until the playoffs start. Okay? Because you're bad luck.
I bet you gonna do it.
Don't do it.
Hey, I was talking to Robert earlier. Me, you, and Robert, all 3 of us, we gonna collab and we gonna be doing some playoff wild card.
That'd be great.
I'm in. We're gonna do a Phillies one. When the Phillies
make it. We're gonna do any postseason playoff game.
We'll do the Astros. We'll do the Astros.
I would definitely. Well, thank God for it. Well, it depends on if ESPN Plus has some of the games. Or then again, though, that's right. I forgot. MLB also does on Fox too. I completely forgot. I'm a complete fucking moron.
It's on moron. Here's the thing. It's on Fox and TBS.
I can believe I am a complete moron. Did not.
I have both those networks, man. And the thing is, they're national. Hold on, Rob. They're nationally televised. You don't need ESPN Plus.
Yep, they're gonna be televised. Every playoff game gonna be televised.
Yeah, nationally because it's playoffs.
So when the Cubs series starts tomorrow, you got Wheeler going against Marcus Stroman. Game 1. Game 2, we got Nola against Wesneski. Apparently in game 2. Apparently, somebody a pitcher that the Cubs traded for, I think from New York, apparently.
Oh,
game 3
he must have sucked because the Mets were willing to sell him.
But game 3 we have Ranger Suarez, so we have Suarez game 3, Nola game 2, and Zach Wheeler game 1.
We're sweeping. Hopefully, we're sweeping. Those pitching matchups just look. The only game that I really am like questioning is the Stroman and Wheeler.
I was going to say that was going to be kind of a little tough because Stroman.
That's going to be a bit tough because that pitching matchup is really in line with each other.
Stroman fucking knows how. But if we say we sweep the Cubs, now I will say this too. I think this is the way I would see it. If we sweep the Nationals and sweep the Cubs, I think the only series I do not mind getting swept by is by the Houston Astros. Because if we can secure a wild card spot,
I'm telling you, Dante,
that Houston series would not matter.
I'm telling you, Dante, when we get to that series and you sweep us, you ain't got no right to laugh at us because we're already making the playoffs before that.
I got no right to laugh at you, but I will have a right if you guys ain't locked up a playoff spot at that time. Y'all guys are one game.
At that point, Dante, a playoff spot will be locked. A playoff spot will be locked.
Because you already think about our
Hey,
matching
you
number
better
is
hope
8.
so. You
But
better
if
hope
we
the Brewers ain't got you by that time. You better hope the Brewers ain't tied with you at that time.
Here's
You
the
already
thing.
know.
Here's the thing. We're in late September. Usually in September, by this time,
This is
we're
where
out
it
of the
crumbles.
playoffs. This is where we
But
crumble.
y'all should be fine because they got a tougher schedule than y'all do. I think
That-
they
Exactly.
got the
We
Cardinals.
have
They got the Cardinals, so that's going to be a big series for them.
We have
and
a
the
way
Brewers
better
struggle.
schedule.
When I look at their schedule for the most of the year, the Brewers struggled against the Cardinals.
They did.
I mean,
They do.
Yeah.
'Cause
You know what's funny? You know they struggle against the Cardinals. We beat the heck out of them.
even though we own the season, even
Entire
though we
year.
swept with them, even though we own the season series against St. Louis,
We
I will
own
admit that.
them. We own them. We
Even
beat
though
up on them.
St. Louis is not the team as it once was. I mean, look, God bless that you still got Pujols in this last year. You have
Not the
Yachty in
team
this
they
last year.
once was. They made Pujols look like his 2011 self.
Gotta get. Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're the team they once were in 2011.
the fact that they still got the 3 players from that championship team, but you still got everybody else, some new faces on that squad.
I find it crazy miraculous that they fixed Pujols. They fixed them.
For that, what? And this also ties back to how the Phillies fixed Brandon Marsh when he got asked out of Anaheim.
But it's not the same though. It's not the same, Rob. You want to know why? You want to know why? Pujols is old as dirt, and
Marsh is 42.
Hold on, yeah, and Brandon Marsh is our age, 24, 25.
But yeah,
he's our age, man. So he's a young spring chicken.
Pujols
ain't a young
meant to be
spring
a Cardinal too, man. That dude
chicken.
has
That's what I'm saying. Like he should not have left in the first place.
Yep.
He should have never left, and it made it even more awesome that when he came back, it was like he never left.
Yep.
It was awesome.
At this point, we all can assume. Let's be real. You got 3 could make an argument. The Cardinals have 3 Hall of Famers. That's Yachty.
Yep.
I think you definitely make the argument for Wainwright.
Waino, yep.
And Pujols
in there.
Yep.
Pujols, yep.
And not to mention too, like he's good. They might, if they all get in the Hall of Fame, they're also going to join other Cardinal greats too, like a Bob Gibson. Let's be real, was the guy, and before our time, was the reason why the mounts are so low nowadays, because he was the reason why. But that's besides the point. But looking at everything else, like going forward though in the all season though, I would feel like. And I would say this too. There's some guys that have done pretty decently, I should say, in their first season. Schwarber's one of them. I know.
The thing is, I was complaining about his batting average, and then I'm like, wait, the game's changed. Batting averages don't mean jack anymore.
Jack shit anymore.
Why am I complaining? So
shit, I mean, I've seen, but if you really think about it, though, like Schwarber, yes, we get it. He's a strikeout machine, but let's be real.
Honestly, he hasn't struck out as much as he did in April.
That is true.
He's been hitting bombs left and right. He hit 40. He had
42 actually.
42.
And almost now and shit. I mean, there were some times where he actually has gotten some regular base hits from time to time.
Yeah, he's now getting regular base hits too. Like he's getting.
I feel like if I'm Kevin Long, you have to instill that to some of these guys. Yes, I get it. Nowadays, it's all about home runs and the launch angle. But with a guy like Bobby Dickerson, with the old school, the way he teaches, same with Kevin Long, the fact his philosophy is saying, hunt fastball. A lot of times, that might work, but a lot of times I've seen pitchers can really pitch backwards, and it's going to fuck everything up. But
I didn't like how Kevin Long instilled early in the season a first pitch swinging thing.
You can't be up that first pitch swinging like that, bro.
No.
I'm telling you, the only way
that's why the strikeouts were so high in April for the Phillies.
Yep. And I also feel like throughout the year, I think Kevin Long, did change his philosophy a little bit. Try to look first pitch fastball.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times too,
that's fundamental baseball. You track the first pitch and you swing the second and third.
You're going to get a fastball. I'm telling you, the only way you're probably going to see a fastball, you got to work the count. And if you be up in the count the whole time, it's going to easy to predict the fastball, especially when somebody is on base that's going to put pressure on that pitcher, or he's up, or if it's a game-winning situation, he's up 3-2. Where do I throw him here? Do I walk him, or do I throw him a fastball, or do I make him hit it? See, that's you got to be patient, bro. You can't just go up there just
Yeah.
swinging and
You
trying
can't
to
just hack at everything. You gotta work the count, make it at least 3-2 in the count. Make him try to
And that's
make
another
him
thing too. I
want to
think
throw a
Schwarber,
fastball down the middle.
and I was
because he's
too,
getting
this is where I
frustrated.
think I will give a lot of praise to Schwarber too. In certain situations, though, like he's throwing a decent amount of walks than he's striking out so far at this point of the year, which is crazy as it sounds.
That's the thing, because once Kevin Long changes philosophy of being impatient to being patient, everybody was getting patient.
But I will say this too. I mean,
everybody in that lineup is so patient now.
Like, nope. If you get a bad call, do not piss off Schwarber because he will get you in your face.
No, I liked
damn it!
I liked how he ran it early. He's like, you missed up, down, left, right, circle, this way, this way, this way.
Like he thought that. No, because because from what I've understood, like, and John Boy Mean actually broke this down. Like he actually argued, he actually did that for both sides because both sides were getting fucking screwed. I will say that much.
He literally, he did it for both teams because both teams he's like, you've been missing all game. And this way, this way, diagonal,
honestly,
south, north, east, west. You're missing everywhere.
Honestly, I think, then again, I mean, when it comes to Phillies ejections of all time, I think Charlie Manuel has his moments. I will say Charlie Manuel, when he gets ejected, that's funny as hell. Like, he has his moments.
Charlie
I will
doesn't
say that much.
Play. Charlie never played.
But yeah, like once shit doesn't go right, and a lot of times too, and I'm thinking about this too, like, you know, yes, I know Nola. Let's be real. I think Nola. This is I would say a decent year for Nola. Not, I mean,
honestly, it's not even decent. It's great. You want to know why? The last few years, he's been decent.
I mean, 2018 was probably the best year that we've seen.
He went from great to decent because of those September collapses in his game. This year, he has not collapsed in September.
And that's another thing too. That's a good thing you brought up. Nola doesn't pitch well in September. We know that. I'll say, but that's besides the point. But you know, and all this, like Brandon Marsh, though, yes, I mean he's not like a superstar player, but he has made an impact since coming to Philadelphia.
Here's the thing, though. That's what I liked about Dombrowski. He saw something in his game.
I think it's easy.
Watching game tape, watching his at bats.
Yep.
He saw potential in this guy.
He don't strike out a lot. Marsh don't strike out a lot because he was with the Angels and used to play against us. He don't strike out a lot. He saw it, and he's like, he is very patient, but he gets frustrated with his at bats and he strikes out anyway. If we fix him, he could be one of the dominant players on that offense, and he has been.
Exactly, and that's the thing too. It's just like there's a lot of things that has plagued the Phillies with injuries. You know, when Harper went down, we seen this one trick pony once again. It's like we always collapse.
I really don't know what happened with Harper.
I think we rushed him back too soon. I think that's
we did. I feel like we did too.
I'm telling y'all was a better team without Bryce Harper.
We were.
Y'all was a better team actually.
Also, we should have kept him on the. We could have put him on the IL.
We put him on the 60 IL, and then he came back. We could
have put him on the DL. We had to put him on the DL. I wish we should have put him on the DL.
It's the same with Segura. Segura's another guy. When he got hurt, like it's like fuck. There was our.
But hold on. Segura came back and he was fine. But Harper, he came back and he sucks because he's still hurt. But the thing is, and also, let me finish my point. We should have kept Harper on the DL, and we should have kept Derek Hall up.
And that's, I think, we're also, yeah. But the problem with me with Derek Hall is like his at bats from what I've seen, like it's got to be better.
The guy was good as at bats. There was no flaw. What flaw are you seeing? I'm not seeing any flaw.
But I will say this too, though. I still feel like with the change in philosophy from Kevin Long, we're not seeing. I mean, there's some bad swings here and there, but we're not seeing on a consistent basis we saw earlier in the year. Like we're not missing pitches right down the goddamn middle.
Also, have you noticed too how much fun the guys are having on that field?
That's another thing too. That's why I think with this coaching staff,
the whole dynamic switched. Like you
definitely tell there's a whole different culture change.
with Girardi out there, they were like
It's just like it was like a goddamn
militarized.
funeral. It's like a funeral out there. Like everybody was just
It
dead.
looked like a funeral. Everybody was just
I mean,
dead in the
I hate
eyes.
to put it-
They just didn't.
Right,
Like, they looked like zombies out there. They
look
weren't
front-
having fun.
Man, some of them I know were. I mean, Castellanos. Yes, I know he wasn't the best, but I can understand his frustration of him not.
Here's the thing.
communicating.
I dogged on Castellanos' play early on in the season. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry to Castellanos. But here's the thing. He was doing that in protest of Girardi. Now it's clear.
It's clear. And it was just funny, too, especially Castellanos. Like, how unlucky can this guy go? Like, hits a homer, like, on the worst shit that's possible. Like, I don't know.
You know what made me sad? The Queen dies. He didn't start the next game. I'm like, dang it. That was an opportunity. Queen died. You didn't start Castellanos. Dang it, Philly.
But I think overall, though, I mean, there's some players I feel like, and this is another thing too. Like, I think also this is where I'll give props to Dombrowski when guys are not performing well. I mean, one guy in particular.
Here's the thing, though. It's not just Dombrowski. It's Rob Thompson and that coaching staff.
And not to mention too, not just the coaching staff at the pro level, and there's some coaches in the minor leagues that actually has helped some of our bullpen guys out, like Jose Alvarado. And Tyler, you know this better than anybody. I rant on this guy for not throwing strikes.
This dude, the only problem that I have with him is that he thought too much on the mound. And he tried to move the ball around, but he was targeting way too much, and it screwed him up.
They sent him down to the minors, try to get everything fixed.
Just don't think. Just throw the ball where you want it to go, and it'll go there.
Honestly, he's been one of our dominant relievers.
He has been. And moving Knebel from closer to reliever did also numbers. Numbers.
I feel, and I think another guy I feel like is hopefully should get things click is Dominguez. Yes, I get it coming back from injury. I know it's going to take time to get everything back into rhythm.
Dominguez has really struggled lately.
Yeah,
people are saying get rid of Dominguez. Get rid of Dominguez. Stop.
Like I will actually put myself in his shoes because actually Bino has done bullpen work. Let's be real, it's not the easiest thing to fucking do. Especially as a closer, that's a lot of stress on your shoulders. Yes, I know.
And it's also a lot of stress mentally. Because look at Neris. Look at
my boy Hector Neris.
But the thing is, it's true. It's true. Look at Neris. The pressure's off with him on the Astros because he didn't close that much.
But we already got Ryan Presley. We got a good closer in Ryan Presley. And when Ryan Presley was tired,
they already had to
do what he done.
Who's been on the Astros for years before they even got Neris.
Oh, but we got multiple people though we can throw out there. We got Montero, who's good in closing. Yes. We got
I think you got Maton.
Phil Maton. Yep, we got him as well. We got a variety of pitchers though, but Hector Neris.
Y'all got Maton.
Yeah,
I forgot we traded Maton.
That's Phil Maton. That's the older brother of Nick.
That's the other. Yeah. Oh, that's the other Maton.
We traded Miles Straw.
To Cleveland.
In the middle of the season to Cleveland.
He was in Cleveland.
Hey, Chicago. Hey, White Sox. What the hell happened?
I told Damien. I tried to tell Damien.
I'm telling you right now. Hold on, Rob. Once they got that bum Vince Velasquez from us, I knew it was over.
This is another thing too. Not just like in the Phillies' perspective, but when they also got look, hey, Jose Ramirez is probably the greatest player that I've seen with Cleveland. I mean,
give it up to Cleveland this year, guys.
I will say this too. Cleveland has for a team. I think most of the baseball world had low expectations for Cleveland because they were
nobody picked them. Nobody picked them for the playoffs. They were supposed to be a rebuilding team. They went and dominated the entire season. Won their division. Division. Like wow.
Remember in the past that you had guys like Lindor. They had Andrew Miller part of that bullpen. You still had Santana. I think he's with the Royals now. But you still kept Jose Ramirez, who let's be real has been one of their consistent players for how long?
Right.
And it's just like a lot of times too, like we've seen teams you would not expect to make the playoffs, like us. Like I mean, people are hating on us for trying not to make the playoffs, but I feel like that's part of that what we call the underdog mentality. We've seen it in sports time and time again.
Here's the thing about other fans in Philly sports. They don't like any of our teams. They don't even like Philly, the city. And it sucks. Because of a few bad fans, you think every fan's like that? Come on, get real.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Tyler and Robert, what makes me feel so happy? When Carlos Correa went over there to Minnesota, and now look how Minnesota is looking. And now look at the Astros, and I miss them at all. Him and George Springer. Don't that feel good as a fan watching someone go over there?
Not for us, it doesn't.
Hey,
no, hold on.
It feels good for me as a fan.
It does.
Because again,
but hold on.
Go ahead, Tom.
But you got to think of it this way, Rob. Don't think about the Neris thing. Think about the Velasquez thing when he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It does feel good. Feels great.
And there's some players too that we used to have, like, we couldn't watch the best from them. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, who's one like? I mean, Utley for sure. When we traded him to the Dodgers, I mean, granted, yes, he's from Southern California, which did make sense.
That pained me. I was so mad when that happened.
It was, but looking at it realistically, he was getting up there in age. He was like in his mid-30s.
He was. It was also I kind of like after maybe a month into the season, I'm like, he was getting up there in age. Same thing with Rollins. He was up there in age.
And then unfortunately he had to play with the damn White Sox, but that's besides the point. But there's some players that it pisses us off. That's the thing too. Like, but there's some that, like Tyler said, Velasquez, it makes us happy because it really fucked us. It's just laughs. It just makes us laugh.
The only one that pained me was Neris, but the thing is, he was a good reliever. He wasn't a good closer. So I'm glad he's being used right for once.
Exactly.
So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that.
Now I will say this too.
The thing is, I saw potential in Neris. Not as a closer, but as a reliever.
What up? But I will say this too. I will put this on record hypothetically. If Neris wins the ring, now that will piss me off. That would piss me off.
Hey, well, guess what? You did say when you first got him, though. Dante, get ready for some lapses. But I said I made it say we're gonna fix him. We ain't gotta worry about him closing.
I would say this. I would say this too. You know what? Props
when Dante said that, I believed him because I knew they had Presley. At that time too.
Depth. That's the thing. Like if Neris is off, they got other guys to rely on, which is crazy.
Yeah, we got guys that we can rely on too because we finally got bullpen depth too, in a sense. But yeah, back to the Phillies. This team has gotten better than what they were last few years. I'm happy about it.
It really is, and I said this too. There's going to be two teams in Major League Baseball who are finally going to end their droughts. That's
Phillies
us in Seattle. And
I don't know about Seattle. Seattle's been kind of on a rocky spot right now.
I mean, they're still holding a decent spot in the second wild card. That's for sure.
That's the thing. They're holding on, but they're in a rocky spot. They could lose it at any time.
But think about this too. I mean, that's another thing too. I feel like Dombrowski going forward in the future has to realize too. They got to start looking at some star pitchers, like a Luis Castillo. Let's be real. Congrats to him getting the goddamn bag from Seattle for a 5-year extension. Good shit. But that's besides the point. But
yeah, I would. But here's the thing: we got to see if the free agent market is good.
That is true. Because we have some decent, good chunk of guys are going to be free agents.
But but Syndergaard's not going to have any trade value, so we're going to have to look at free agent.
At this point, he actually send it back to Anaheim for all I care. But I mean,
but that's the thing. We can't trade him back. We can't trade him anywhere.
Regress, man. Syndergaard has regressed.
It is a good thing too. And
those injuries.
Oh yeah, that I was about to say. Yeah, that's the Tommy John.
The guy isn't the guy he was in New York. That's the thing. He's not the guy he was
5 years ago. He's not going to strike out anybody anymore. His velocity is down, way down. So
I feel like this is where I feel like I want to give them Mets some bit of a credit. They actually realized, like, maybe Syndergaard, they tried to do whatever they could to make Syndergaard better, but it just didn't seem to work. and they just
went downhill, but the problem was the Phillies were fooled because earlier this season he was actually pretty good for the Angels.
Yep,
he was pretty good
because he pitched against us that first game. He did pretty good, man. He did pretty good. That was early in the beginning. We couldn't score like that. That
is absolutely true for a guy.
He was good. He was good, and even in his first start with us, he was pretty good. And then for some reason, he just fell off a cliff.
And I will say this too: he has a decent pitcher.
Fell off a cliff.
Tyler's not wrong because as pitcher gets up, certain pitchers get up there in age, they don't perform it like they used to. Now, unless you're not Max Scherzer, who's still
Put it this way: when he got traded to us, he had like a sub 4 ERA,
and we
almost a 4.
Yeah,
I think it was like 4.0 something.
Like no, it's Liberty
that went up to that went up to 5.
No, and that's in the recent starts. But like the starts that we won, like he cut that down onto like 3.9 some like in the sub 3.9s. But it depends because like we all said,
then for some reason late August into September it went up to 5.
Exactly. It's like what gives. And there's some guys too. I feel like we know that Syndergaard's gonna be a free agent. We know that Kyle Gibson's gonna be a free agent. Because let's be real, Kyle Gibson. Yes, I know he had been an up and down a year, but I kind of want to move on from him and actually get better.
I don't. I really don't.
But I will say this too. I think
But hold on. Kyle Gibson is a decent pitcher. I don't know why people are giving up on him. Yeah, he has bad starts here and there. Every pitcher has bad starts here and there.
But I will say this too. I feel like the one right move that the Phillies have done, keep Eflin in the bullpen. I think that's where he does the best. That's what I've seen in a short sample size.
But what really shocked me about the Phillies team, there hasn't been many bad moves. Many.
Yeah. Because good God. I think there's too many bad moves that we could count under.
Yeah. We couldn't even count them on 2 hands. That's how bad.
No, exactly. It's just so bad.
You know how many that I could think of that we made? 1. And that was a Syndergaard deal.
I was about to say, Syndergaard, because Marsh, I feel like has turned out pretty well. And let's be real, I think
Marsh was a flash in the pan success.
I would say this too, like at least try to re-sign him, because I feel like he
earned that paycheck.
I do feel like with Marsh, I feel like playing in Philly, I feel like he has more. He's got more confidence in himself as a player.
Because for some reason in LA they taught him to do so much.
Like he's not thinking about it, which that's another thing.
They're telling him to be strategic about things, and he thought too much. But Kevin Long, he's like, just be yourself, play your game.
And that's why I feel like that. And that also ties to Ron Thompson too. When you have guys like Ron Thompson to be straight up with you and be yourself. We've seen, Bryson Stott be a much better player. We've seen Brandon Marsh, the complete transformation of Brandon Marsh. Yes, I know he's not your tip. He'll pop a couple home runs every now and again, but if you guys need to steal some bags or get some extra base hits, Brandon Marsh is that guy. I do feel like Brandon Marsh could be the guy that we need in center field. Because let's be real, we had a decent center fielder since like days of Victorino, or let's be real, a lot of people don't forget how good Aaron Rowland was in center field for us a couple more than a handful of years ago.
The man ran into a wall catching a ball.
Yep. On the opening day of Citizens Bank Park in 2004.
And you can't tell me that man's not a dog for that.
And he kept it. Shane Victorino was good, bro.
Here's the thing with Rowan. After I just got random rib pain just now. That hurt. But
that's a first.
Yeah, I just sat up and went. I'm like, that hurt. But here's the thing. You run into the wall.
You break your nose first.
You break your nose,
and still
kept the ball in the glove.
Like,
yep.
Like a lot of people don't realize too. Like we used to have a lot of players that will take bumps and bruises. God, I mean,
and you know what's funny too? If I remember correctly, the man just bandaged his nose up and played.
Exactly, he played the next day. Like
he played bandaged his nose up and played.
That's another guy that was the exact same, even though he's not. I mean, he's some decent production. Kevin Pillar Remember when he broke his nose, like he put a bench on the next day and played.
Aaron Rowan did that crap.
Yeah, it's like
it's just a bloody nose. Played with a broken nose. Like what?
Now there are some injuries too that players will never be the same. I mean, Achilles is a perfect example because we've seen guys when they tear the Achilles, they have not been, even when they're fully healthy, they're still not. We're not the same players they used to be. Man, we learned that. We know that firsthand.
That's what any sport, man. You tear your Achilles, your career's over.
That's a hard.
That's a career ender. Your Achilles.
You seen how bad DeMarcus Cousins got after he tore that Achilles. You seen how bad he got. Seen how he regressed.
Yeah, and you see it with Kobe. You saw, and hold on, you've seen it with Kobe too. You had that one good year, and then over time, he just started to diminish. His play just started to diminish,
which was a shame though. And I think another guy too. I mean, retired young. Remember Brandon Brooks? He had 2 of Achilles injuries, and still retired at 32.
But hold on, it shocked me though because Brandon Brooks was actually still good.
But
2 torn Achilles. Like you're supposed to be regressing, but you're not regressing.
It's the same with Brandon Graham. There's another guy that tore his Achilles last year,
and he's still dominant.
But that's
guess what? Hey, KD tore his Achilles. He's still good. He's still good. He's still very good.
There's like a minority of players who tear their Achilles,
and they still are better than what they are. Because like we said, I mean, Tyler, we kind of remember this too. With Howard, when he tore his Achilles, I think 2011 in the I think it's the division series or championship.
At that point, we didn't know, but that was the start of everything going down for us.
Yeah, down here for Ryan Howard. And ever since then, we have not had let's be real, not a great first base.
Ever since then, a decade-long drought of playoffs. Not even in the playoffs for 10 years. We had to rebuild.
Unfortunately,
a guy half did the rebuild. Another guy finished it. Like what?
I mean, shit. There's a lot. I mean, the Phillies over time had some good and bad moments. I mean, shit. I remember 2007. Had a good record and missed the playoffs. But Jimmy Rollins said something that really lit a fire.
No, Rob. 2007, we didn't miss the playoffs.
I thought we did miss the playoffs in 2007.
2006, we did.
That was 06. Right.
2007 was the start of the 5-year run.
Yo, what up, Philly hat time? What up, man?
Philly hat time. What's up?
But that's a very good point. And that's the thing too. It's just like, I feel like now this version of what the Phillies have, especially with going to the minor leagues, from what we hear about Andrew Painter, Mick Abel, a lot of good things out of those guys because, that's pretty much could be our next starting core. Because let's be real, like pitchers, a lot of times we've seen some regress as they get older. Well, I guess Max Scherzer is, a perfect example. What Madison Bumgarner, we know Father Time's now kicking his ass.
Matt Bum just went down.
And it's just like it's not the same as
I remember that. No, that was I remember that it was the one game we won against Arizona when we swept them the first time and we had to play. No, it was the game we blew because the bullpen sucked.
and that's another thing too that's shocking too. At least the bullpen was somewhat.
But hold on. And early on, he just kept leaving balls over the plate. It was just
it just seems like, man, it's just like because at this point he's not the same Matt Bum he was like in like 2012, 2014. It's just like Max Scherzer can defy Father Time because he 34, 35 and still can pitch at a Cy Young type level.
That man scares me.
I mean, I say he's overrated, but he's overrated in a good way to the point where he's actually somewhat consistent.
He's not overrated. He's not even underrated.
I'm not saying in a bad way, but I feel like he's
properly rated. He's one of the dominant pitchers in the league.
Oh,
that's bad. It's Max Scherzer.
Scherzer.
But Scherzer does have his moments where, and there were some instances where, like, sometimes his age would show him. Like, there were some times though, but
But you know what scares me about Scherzer, though? His personality scares me, man.
I mean, he's called Mad Max for a reason.
It's kind of psycho-ish. Like, dude, calm down.
But I mean, that's and that's why a lot of times players we don't see like that in players nowadays. Like they're just like laid back.
he got mad at the coach for giving him a good game butt slap.
That should, yeah, but
I'm like, what, dude? Calm down.
Because this is going to be interesting for the next show too. Is kind of breaking down the 2023, I should say, or this upcoming free agent class. Because it's going to be very interesting of how many guys are going to be free agents. Because if I'm Dombrowski, even with the start of the postseason, I was at least try to keep a close eye on potential free agents because,
and I'm glad to say this, Rob. The only thing that we need right now is a fifth starter. Bullpen, fine.
Which is shocking to say.
Shocking, yes.
But I want to
got some relievers. We're good.
You know what? As crazy as it sounds, I would not be too upset if we get an extra bullpen arm. I would not be too upset about that. Just to be rather be safe than sorry.
But
I think a fifth starter.
Fifth starter's needed.
And keep Eflin in the bullpen because I feel like that's where he's actually has done pretty decently in the bullpen.
But even then though, you said extra guy. I think Eflin's our.
I think that Eflin might be the extra guy that we could use.
Eflin's the extra guy.
Even though
we just need a fifth. We need a fifth starter. We got Brandon Marsh, who's now our starting center fielder, who was good on both ends of the ball. Thank God.
I mean, the fifth starter, that's going to be interesting because do you really want to put Suarez? I would say put Suarez. I think when you think of that, put Suarez back in the bullpen. So that'd be two extra guys.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Keep him at the 4.
Oh, that's right. We have Gibson 3. Okay, so we got Nolan. Right. Because Falter, I think, has to go. I think.
No, Falter. No, here's the thing. Falter, I don't think he's a starter. He's a bullpen guy.
It's just like even with the bullpen, he still stinks in the bullpen, though. But I would think.
Then again, yes. Let's get rid of Falter because Falter ain't nothing. But
because good God, I mean the best starting rotation we had was like 2011 when we had like Hamels, Halladay. I think we also had Cliff Lee. Roy Oswalt.
You know what pains me about that season? We had a better season record-wise from our 08 winning World Series winning team, and we did nothing because somebody had to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. And that's the year. I would say 2011 was a cursed year for us.
Oh, started going. But here's a laugh for Dante. Last time the Phillies made the playoffs, I was 13. The next time to make the playoffs, I am 24.
God damn, you were 13 when y'all
I was 14 the last. Trust me, me and Tyler are 1 year apart. We were in the early teens. So
I was 13. I just became a teenager.
Y'all make the playoffs?
Yeah, 13. Yeah, when we still had Howard, Utley, Ruiz. Let's be real.
I was 13. Put it this way, I was from the South, right? So I'm going to go further with this. I was 13, had a Southern accent the last time we made the playoffs. I'm 24, the accent's gone.
Yeah. But I feel like, too, I think with all the changes, yes, I mean, look, with the coaching change, the front office change was ever since when Dombrowski started making the important change, especially the front office. Now, let's be real, Sanford, not the best GM, but that's besides the point. But I feel like Dombrowski could do. I think
here's the thing. I don't even think Sam Fold lifts a finger.
I don't think so either. But what's the point of having a GM when you're going to have Dombrowski kind of pulling the strings, which is
they just need a placeholder.
Which is, I mean, yeah. But I mean,
how old would you guys when the Sixers made the second round? How old would you?
God!
Way to say this.
Well, you're talking about 2012.
They went to the second round. Since they went past the second round.
Oh God, that was 2001. I was about 4.
3.
Y'all ain't went past the second round that long? It's been that long?
We have not been to the NBA Finals since 2001.
I was 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so during the AI era, we still had Mutombo, Snow,
Eric Snow, Aaron McKee.
Yeah, some of those guys were all goddamn hurt from what I remember. The only healthy one was AI.
Yeah, the only healthy one was AI. That's what screwed us over.
But it's just, I mean, you still had Prime Kobe and Prime Shaq on that Lakers team. Let's be real. We were not. I didn't feel we weren't
gonna beat Prime Kobe and Shaq. We weren't gonna do that.
No, that was the year.
No way.
Tyler was right because that was the year the Lakers. That was the best playoff team ever because the only one loss was to the Sixers. That was it.
Yeah,
they were sweeping every team, and then we beat them one time, which was a shocking. Which everybody calls that a shocker loss because it was. No one expected
this is
lost in the playoffs until y'all beat them.
Yeah,
until
they were having an all-time great playoff.
But Jeff actually.
Hold on. What did we win? Game 1 or game 2? If I remember.
Y'all won game 1.
Game one, and we lost game.
We won the first. Literally,
first game. They completely collapsed ever since. But man, I mean, look, I couldn't be too mad because like you got prime Kobe, you got Shaq. I'm trying to think.
We beat prime Kobe and Shaq one time in a game. That's awesome.
That's good.
And then you pick.
No other Western Conference team beat them. Nobody beat them.
Everybody else got swept.
Everybody got swept besides y'all.
But I think Jeff actually. So who do we? Okay, so that's an interesting question though.
Honestly, I want to see Philly and Atlanta.
I think I think we might see that because I feel like
we will most likely get our butts kicked. But I want to see a rivalry in the playoffs. I want to see Philly versus Atlanta.
Now, American League, that's going to be an interesting one because that's a toss-up for anybody for all the American League.
Yeah, there's two.
Because
I play my team. I won't play anybody. It ain't no man.
Well, because I think the best record is to get like a first round bye.
This is what the Astros will be doing. This is what the Astros will be doing wild card weekend. What time's our game?
But other than that, though, I mean, I don't feel like the Phillies do have some work. I don't think it's like too much you could probably add.
There's not really that much work.
But I would say there's some things you can still improve on.
I really think if we fired Girardi sooner, we would be better than the wildcard team. To be honest,
which would be crazy in itself because I mean, who would have thought us be part wearing? Because. But yeah, that's a good point though. But then again, I don't know, man. It's like yes, I get it. Let's be real. I was kind of annoyed. It's like, why would you hold your Girardi on for about what? Let's see, it was about 51 games into the season.
51 games into the season, 3 months into the season, man.
Like literally, I say if we were after the month of April.
And the thing is, I didn't think he'd get fired. I thought the season was
and this is what Key said too. This is the funny thing. Key brought this up. Joe Girardi was at a Wawa when he realized he got his ass fired. That was the funny. Like you can't script that any better.
He literally got a text or a call at a Wawa,
and you didn't know he got his ass fired. Like that's the funny shit, though. But other than that,
so sick of him that they didn't even call or text.
I don't think. I guess Zabrowski had to be super petty. Like, you know what, screw it. Let's just fire this man. But I mean, look, and also looking at it so far at this point, it has
this man's out here trying to get him a Wawa milkshake and a goddamn meatball sub, and you fire him. Didn't even tell him. Dang.
Exactly. But other than that, I think kind of to wrap it up here, I think overall with Girardi being fired, like we said, we're kind of retying everything. But it has really done wonders for most of especially these younger players and some of the veterans too. I mean, like Schwarber. I mean, it feels like Schwarber. Yes, we know we know about the strikeouts, but we've seen him been better.
That's exactly this. That's exactly what I wanted to mention too. With Girardi, this team wasn't even motivated, not even close to motivated.
And shit, I mean,
and with Rob Thompson, he's like, go out there and play your game.
Yep.
Be yourselves out there. And it's working.
But it's like, and not to mention too, where you're giving some of these young guys a chance to play. And and some of them have come through. I mean, God, Matt Vierling. I mean, how many times we've been shitting on Matt Vierling? It's like, oh, this guy ain't great. Has his first walk off hit.
Matt Vierling has bulk up. No, the thing is, he balked it off twice in 2 games.
Exactly. It's just like, I mean, we have guys that have capabilities to, like, when games on the line, we'll have guys that will step up. Remember, last year, we never had guys to step up. We never had the depth that we had this year rather than we had last year. And that's why I feel like we're done.
And to me, Girardi didn't instill anything in this team.
But
and he was just in it for the paycheck. He wasn't in it to coach.
because we knew, like,
we knew it.
But I feel like I think having Ron Thompson take over the team, we did. I feel like that was one of the parts to right the ship.
And I know. And you know what Girardi's job was before he even got the Philly job?
He was an analyst.
He was a damn analyst for MLB.
He sucked at it.
He made bad takes left and right.
I mean, I've seen the former players actually have better takes than Girardi. That just
bad takes left and right
like
about
Pedro.
Pedro was getting on him. Every pregame show.
A guy that was his division rival at the same time. Even though it was fun. But other than that, though, I mean, like we said, there's some stuff we can definitely improve on. That's for sure. I mean, yes, I know we got guys who expired.
Can I end on something completely mind-blowing?
Hey, shoot.
Did any of you realize that Pedro Martinez played for the Phillies?
That was back in 2009.
Yep.
That was on the latter half.
For some reason, I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Totally.
Because remember, we got him in 2009 to try to help up with that rotation, even though Pedro was on the back end of his career before he called it. Because let's be
he was actually pretty decent for us.
He was, but the
only time he crapped the bed was World Series.
Oh yeah, well it was against the Yankees for crying out loud.
It was against the Stankies.
But you got to think too, man. You still had guys like Mo Rivera coming out of that back into the bullpen. You still got some guys on that team in 2019 are Hall of Famers. You got Derek Jeter. Say what you want about him, and all this other shit. But I mean, so far,
Derek Jeter, good player, terrible GM. That's all I got to say.
Terrible GM. Yep.
Terrible. Yeah.
GM. But I was
if you're going to say A-Rod is a Hall of Famer, no, he's not.
Absolutely.
He's a roid. He did roids. He doesn't deserve Hall of Fame.
For me, I think one guy to end it off here, I would say give Roger Clemens, man, because Roger Clemens, even though part of the, I would disagree.
Are you saying Roger Clemens should be in the Hall?
I would.
No.
I would make more of an argument.
He did roids too.
Because of the steroids?
He did roids too.
Oh, if he did roids, then I agree with it. But if
he did roids, it came out. He went to court. He went to court.
Barry Bonds not even in the Hall of Fame right now because of the steroid part.
Yeah.
But I will say this too. I want to try to talk about this.
I don't. Here's the thing, Rob. I don't care that you idolize pitchers because you're a pitcher yourself.
But I mean, you got to look at the time era that
I don't care about his prime. Here's the thing: in his prime era, he was doing roids, Rob. He was doing roids.
You gotta be fat though. You can't put Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame and he was doing steroids, and put Barry Bonds and not go with. That's not fair. Barry Bonds not even in the Hall of Fame. He would have been in the Hall of Fame.
Honestly, I'm not.
He did steroids.
Now I will say this too.
Alex Rodriguez, he would have been in the Hall of Fame. They would have
been for the roids. Because you really think about if it didn't take I think A-Rod was a good player before taking the roids. A lot of people don't remember he was a decent player. Before I think when he took the roids, that's pretty much the ship changed.
Same thing for A-Rod. He was a decent player. Even post him doing steroids, he was a decent player.
But I would say this too.
But he took steroids.
Now this is where, as a guy, have not seen Nolan Ryan play. This still bugs me to this very fucking day. How did this man not win a fucking Cy Young in his prime?
The man pitched a complete game with a broken nose, man.
Not to mention too, he had, I think he has like seven no hitters.
You know what, Rob? Also too, he's the best brawler because he put a guy in a headlock.
That was Robert Ventura before he
put a guy in a headlock and punched him.
I don't know if this guy not in the Hall of Fame, but I remember we was on the show. I think me and Rob. Yeah, it was. I gotta go back and watch it, but it was the baseball show though. It was
Between the Lines. We gotta bring that back.
Yeah, it was talking about players that should be in the Hall of Fame, and I said Omar Deskel should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, that was Omar Deskel. How is this man not in the Hall?
Shortstops of all time, bro.
That man is criminally underrated. Criminally underrated.
Yep.
I feel
should be in the Hall of Fame, bro.
that's a whole total. I think another guy that I feel like has gotten some disrespect. And that was Dick Allen. Yes, I mean,
my gosh,
that was another guy that got passed up for the Hall of Fame.
every single year this man gets snubbed. Every year. And he was really good for us. Really good.
And I will say this too. We did give him a lot of shit because remember, Philadelphia was racist back in the day. Good God.
Listen,
have you not seen 42?
Dude,
God.
Dude, honestly, watching 42 made me want to hate my own team.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we hated one of the most influential players of all time in Jackie Robinson. Because let's be real, like Jackie Robinson pretty much, let's be real, really, I mean, broke the color barrier. But remember, like I let minorities actually join in. With guys like us. I mean, I don't want to talk about skin color, but that's besides the point. But we've seen as history unfolds. And shit. I mean, we've seen like
I love that how they did the whole. I know it's dramatized, and it's probably not real. They did this for drama for the movie. It was when his teammate came up and said, "We're all wearing 42 for you."
Actually, that might, it may be dramatized, but that could be. I read something that actually did happen.
Oh, and that's actually did. I thought it was dramatized.
No, actually, without Jackie Robinson Day, like we wouldn't have every Major League Baseball wearing the number 42 on all teams.
Yeah.
That's. But other than that, though, like we said, the Phillies, whether even though this team just gave me a fucking it gives me a headache, heart attack, or the in between. I am really proud of this team. I really truly am proud of how much they overcome. Especially, with all the shit that they've gone through, with Girardi and stuff like that. But, with Dombrowski, yes, minus that Syndergaard move.
He's actually done a really good job building this team up. Really good job. He's done.
Yeah, I mean, think about it too. Like this also, I feel like he, even though he has not made like splash moves, but I feel like when he's doing this as an evaluation, I think that's a very good look.
This in the eyes of Dombrowski. This is the vision that I see through his lens, right? His eyes. Him slowly building up this team year by year. Wild card, okay. All right, let's try to go for a division next year. He's gonna make some splash moves in the offseason. I'm telling you that right now.
I can definitely see that.
We're going to be competing for a division next year.
I can definitely see that. Because I mean, because really think about it. Because I want to try to be somewhat consistent. I mean, the fact that Rob Thompson is going to lead us to our first 90-win season and how long it's been a while since we had a 90 plus win season.
90 plus win season. We haven't won 90 games since I think 2009 or 2010. Yeah, it was
Damn.
Yeah, and we haven't had a winning record. Or we haven't had a winning season where we made the playoffs since 2011. We've had winning records. Like last year, we won 82-80. This year, we won 83 and counting, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we've honestly haven't had a winning season where we made the playoffs.
Because really think about it, because we could definitely have a 90 win season. If we swept the Cubs, that's going to be 89 right there. If we sweep the Nationals, we could finish
the Nationals. Like that'd be like 90 something, like 92, 93 ish.
I think it's a 4-game set because obviously game one it's a doubleheader, which I'll be doing in games 1 and 2.
So 89 plus 4.
We're gonna that'll be 90. That'll be 93.
Yeah, 93. Yeah.
I say
we'll be at 93 at this point.
And then the only series that doesn't matter, we do say we lock up a wild card spot, and that's the Astros. If we lose against them, we can finish 90.
We'll be 93 and 68, I think.
Exactly. That's the first time we ever had a better winning season.
I would be happy with a 93 and 68 record.
Because that's a huge improvement from the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I still feel like, we have it because, looking at next, I'm not saying looking at next year, but looking at it from like I said, from Dombrowski's perspective, who is to say the fact that we almost pulled a 100-win season out of our ass because of firing Joe Girardi? That's almost a feat in and itself.
Yeah, to go from 82 to 93 like that.
Exactly. it's a huge step forward in the right direction because let's be real, George, like we said, George Roy was not taking us anywhere. But other than that, because I want to don't keep us going on further, because me and Dante, we got to do the Giants. We got some primetime football going.
Yep.
But other than that, man, I'm like I said, I'm very proud of this team. I'm proud of some of these kids that are stepping up, especially Dalton Guthrie. Though, let's be real, coming out of the woodworks from the minor leagues and has some of the biggest moments of that young kid's career.
Here's the thing that excites me. We now are building a quality farm system, along with a quality and major league team. Derek Hall's dominating in the pros when he came up. Now we got Guthrie dominating.
And you have two guys, Mick Abel and Andrew Painter, dominating the minor leagues to start out that.
Yeah, you got two good pitchers in the minor leagues right now.
Even though both high schoolers, I mean, which is crazy. High schoolers, I think overall, I think the development of those two guys, I think, has done them wonder, especially, what the kind of potential that these two kids have. I mean, it's like who's to say we can't see him the next year or the next couple of years? Because good Lord, if you're going to have these two guys, but then again, you're going to have Nola that's going to be up there in age a little bit. We don't know how his production is going to be, so that's going to be interesting to see. But I think because if Nola can still be good as he gets older, I think he could be a good mentor to these kids when they come up. I really do truly believe that. That's for sure. Because I think Dombrowski, even though if his contract is up, I say you just keep him at least keep him around for as long as you can, because I feel like what Dombrowski's doing to really, like we said, to wrap this up, I feel like he's realized where this team is at and what pieces that we truly need going forward for the next 5 to 10 years, 15, 20, whatever the case may be, until we get finally see another World Series championship in the city of Philadelphia. But I'm going to end off by saying the long dark tunnel, we're finally seeing light.
Yep.
Finally seeing the light at the end.
Yeah, because it's
that we haven't seen in 10 years. Finally seeing the light. Brother.
Yeah, I know. I mean, shit. That's what it is, though. But other than that, that's going to end it for the Phillies Talk Podcast, episode 14. Dante, we appreciate you coming through.
Always, man.
Kind of give your side of things, especially being an Astros fan too, which is for an interesting opinion.
Yeah, it gives us from the Philly lens and another fan's lens, which is awesome. Yep. Love that.
A lot of times too, we do deserve to get laughed at, but that's rightfully so. But that's besides the point.
Here's the thing: early in the season, we took our beatings. That's all good. It's all good. Yep. All love.
Hey, I'm glad to see y'all doing better. I'm glad to see the.
Hey, at least we're not doing well.
I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see your Astros.
I gotta be honest about the organization, man. Firing Joe Girardi is the best thing for this organization.
And, I mean, it's like. Yeah, I mean, I really can't add to that, but it's just I had to reciprocate saying that Neris isn't a trash pitcher like we thought he was in Philly.
I mean,
he's better than what he was.
Stopping good pitching around him to help him out, but this situation remind me of what we had to go through with Bo Porter. How bad he was.
Yeah, 3 straight 100 losing seasons.
Bo Porter.
Yeah.
Bo Porter,
when they still had Chris.
God.
I remember
that was a mess back then.
And also another thing too, I think I'll give the Astros a lot of props. Finally, you got your ass. Get rid of Jason Castro, for the love of God. This dude has not been.
I was happy.
Because let's be real, Jason Castro has not been great in years.
I was happy we got.
Dude's been super inconsistent. And I will say this too, and this is the thing too, people don't realize too, before the Astros, and Dante said it best, before the Astros were even good, he had 3 straight 100 losing seasons. Who would have thought that a team like that had, guys coming up like Carlos Correa? They still had Jose Altuve,
Alex
Bregman. I remember
we dropped
and when they still had Berkman was still at the top of his game at one point during with the Astros. A lot of people don't remember.
You know what the Astros reminded me of with the rebuild? They reminded me of the Golden State Warriors, how they rebuilt.
Yep.
And
all of those guys came through the draft. All of those guys was drafted.
All of them were drafted.
And I feel like this, and this is where I will say this too. I think Dombrowski's got to do that a lot and try to follow the other team's formula, is try to build through the draft. And sometimes in free agency when you really need to get some of these other, because really, you don't want to have a super young team and completely not do well.
And I feel like that's what he's doing because with the pickups of Derek Hall and Guthrie.
And Derek Hall was like a 6th round pick, and he's actually produced pretty decently.
He's been producing very well, not only in the minors but in the majors.
I mean,
those few games that he was in, he was dominating.
And I spoke highly of him. I mean, I feel like he could be a perfect backup to Rhys Hoskins if you can give that man a day off or two. Because
no, you know what I want the Phillies to do? Get rid of Hoskins.
Well, Hoskins
is a liability at this point. He sucks.
At this point, I'm saying just you know what? That's not a bad idea. But I mean, you guys think too. Like that's the reason why I would say if you do want to get rid of Hoskins, why not just let Derek Hall? Because Derek Hall's a natural first baseman as it is.
Get rid of Hoskins for maybe a draft pick. Get pennies on the dollar and move up Derek Hall to the starting.
Now, my thing is like we don't know exactly who's the top prospect coming out of this next draft class, because I mean, let's be real. I mean, this draft class was, I would say, pretty much it was dominated by Stephen Holiday or Jackson Holiday. Good God, Andrew Jones' son. Let's be real. Andrew Jones, I will say this on record, was one of the most underrated players for the Atlanta Braves. I don't care what anybody goddamn says.
Jackson Holiday, you talking about Matt Holiday's son? Is that Matt Holiday's son?
Yeah.
Matt Holiday's son and Andrew Jones' son. So we got 2 juniors.
Yeah, it's crazy as you would think. Because I mean,
we got a junior. We got a junior and another second generation guy.
But I feel like, I think, God, the fact that Drew Jones went to Arizona, took Drew Jones. I was like, yeah, I don't know exactly what they need, but I mean, outfield help. I can't see. I think
I feel like they picked Andrew Jones because they were desperate to get talked about.
Yeah, because
that's what I thought. That's why Arizona did that. They were desperate to get talked about. Oh, they took his son.
Because I'm thinking too, like Arizona has not been relevant since like 2000 in the early 2000s.
Remember, the only time they've been relevant was that one time they made the playoffs in 2017.
That was 2017, but I mean, remember their best year was in 2001 when they had Randy Johnson.
When they shocked the world and won the World Series against. I
remember the only one team that shocked
the in the World Series.
You had 2 teams that shocked the world in the 2000s. You had the Florida Marlins in 2003 and the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. And ever since then, the Arizona
Go ahead.
Do you know what's funny about the Marlins? They did that on accident. They were supposed to be rebuilding, and they just dominated out of nowhere.
Think about it. We still had Young. You still got Pudge Rodriguez, Livion Hernandez. I mean, you still had Miguel Cabrera. A lot of people don't remember that
you had Juan Pierre. Yeah, Juan Pierre.
Probably the greatest contact hitter of all time, but along with Ichiro, got to give Ichiro his props. Giancarlo Stanton before he did his full name change. Before that,
Stanton was there in 2003?
He was. No, he was no.
I think he was a prospect at that time.
He was. That's crazy.
He wasn't in the league.
Wow.
I don't think he was in the league though.
That's crazy. Just thinking about that,
dude. I did not know that Stanton was around since 2003. What the?
As a prospect, but he was a full-time player.
He was still in the league, dude. He was still in the league.
That's fucking nuts.
What?
But I mean, other than that, I think the free agent, like I said, we're going to try to bring back the Between the Lines podcast because the free agent class is going to be very interesting to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially with the baseball playoffs coming up. So you don't want to miss that. Hopefully, try to get it this Thursday. I'll try to see what Key has to see. Key wants to do that. But other than that, we're going to wrap it up here because we're going to get ready for the NFL football between the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yep. Who are y'all taking before we go? Who are y'all taking?
I'm taking
Giants.
I'm taking the Cowboys. I'm taking the upset. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dante was the one who took the upset.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see. But with that being
said,
that's
guys, a split. That's a split. You guys are going against each other here. So enjoy Monday Night Football.
But other than that, though, Dante, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Kind of give your side, give your side of things, especially like we said, from an outsider's perspective of how the Phillies have, kind of turned it around. But like like we said, it's fun for episode 14, but I think this coming Thursday we'll see another episode of Between the Lines with me, Key, Tyler, and Dante, which is going to be great because let's be real, there's going to be a lot of baseball news to talk about, not just Phillies related, but like with the playoffs coming up, like who's going to it's going to be interesting to talk about. But with that being said, this is episode 14 of the Phillies Talk podcast. Appreciate Tyler, who's not going to be my full-time, is going to be another co-host on this show. So you guys should not want to miss out on the upcoming content, whether you like Eagles football, Sixers basketball, which our first guest will be Mitch Kofsky. So I will say that. So that's going to be fun. But with that being said, this is Robert and Tyler from the Phillies Sports Talk podcast. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Phillies Talk podcast.
Peace.